What's good, everyone? ESBC just dropped some amazing content. Today we're going to take a look. I can't wait. Let's jump into it. Alright, here we go. Cannot wait.
Hey fight fans, this is Will Kinsler from the team at Steel City Interactive. You might recognize me as Raxzilla if you're on our Discord server. I'm the Director of Global Communications at SCI, and I'm here to show you what we've been up to lately with ESBC development. Today we're going to talk about camera angles, improvement to punches, inside fighting, and more. Let's jump into it. That's right. We're opening up this modern classic matchup between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, who you're seeing in the ring together in ESBC for the very first time.
I love the movement there.
You can see we've got a variety of camera angles.
Show me more. I love Tyson Fury's movement. That looks so good.
For those of you who want to see as much as possible. There's a close-up view that really highlights those toe-to-toe moments and beautiful game vision.
Head movement.
We've
Head
even
movement.
got a cinematic camera that gives you a number of perspectives to view what's happening inside the ring. We'll continue to experiment and add more cameras to offer a variety of ways to view gameplay.
Okay.
When it comes to authentic boxing, another area we wanted to give attention to is fighting on the inside. As boxing fans, we appreciate those moments where fighters are right on top of each other, looking for that opportunity to throw a shot that will connect at just the right time. It's still a work in progress, but here's a glimpse of our first pass at fighting on the inside. You can see how the fighters shift stances as they get into close range combat. With our physics system coming into play, short hooks and uppercuts might land, or they could glance off an opponent, depending on your position.
I like it.
And now we've got a fighter we've never shown before in ESBC. I'm really excited to announce joining...
Whoa, hold on a second, Will. Get out of here. If it's a fighter announcement, I'm in charge.
Let's go, Todd.
Making that announcement. Introducing to you, for the first time ever, with Esports Boxing Club, from the Steel City himself, the home of Steel City Interactive. He is the former welterweight champion of the world. Welcome, Kell Brook.
Fighting on your card soon.
How about this fantasy matchup between the Cobra and Sweet Hands? We're showing Carl Froch and Caleb Plant in ESBC for the first time as we talk through this next section. Fighters will tell you that where a shot lands can make a big difference, and the same is true in ESBC. There are impact areas on an opponent's face, so a glancing blow will have a reduced chance to cause serious damage, where that big shot to the temple might just be enough to bring a fight to a close. If you want to have a great boxing game, the punches have to both look and feel right. That's something we believe, and that's something we hear often from you as well. That's why we'll work on and polish punches until we're satisfied they meet our standards.
Damn. They're just team, like they're like a tire.
After consultation with world champion boxers and improvement to our punch mechanics, we now have more than 60 individual punches. We've put significant effort into additional capture.
I love how Deontay Wilder drops his hands when he's throwing a punch, which is great.
Power punches are now available for every single punch type. Power jabs.
I want to see Lomachenko in the game.
Uppercuts. It's all there. Want to throw that power jab to slow an advancing opponent? Now you can. Maybe you'd like to set up a trap to land that big right hand to end the fight. It's up to you when to put a little something extra on.
Oh man, Deontay and Fury are going to be so good to use.
Energy in those championship rounds. We've talked a lot about the process of scanning fighters and how that helps us create lifelike visuals. And that's true. But we don't only rely on scans. Our team has worked out the finer details when it comes to visual fidelity. You can see individual muscles flexing when punches are thrown. There's real-time body and facial deformation when impactful punches land. We believe these are different
big shots
when it comes to creating an immersive boxing experience, and it's important to us to take the time to touch on these areas. Now it's time to hop in and answer a few of your questions about ESBC. Josh asks, how does the judging system work?
Well, Josh, we're not ready for a deep dive on judging today, but I can tell you that there will be a variety of outcomes at the end of fights. There are multiple judges. They may not see a fight the same way, so you'll have to be thoughtful about your game plan so you don't end up in a draw or on the wrong end of one of those majority.
Pretty standard generic
More
response.
on that in the future. Shy760 asks, will we be able to change the button layout? So the controls
Interesting
we
if,
showed in the last
PC.
dev walkthrough are our current default, and we are pretty happy with them. But we're actively testing alternate control options. We aren't 100% locked in on anything, and we'll continue to test options and read feedback when it comes to what you're saying about controls.
Agalos P has a question about DLC. Well, Agalos,
interesting.
it's not time yet to talk about DLC plans. However, we do want to touch on the roster and some of the speculation we've seen. We've signed a lot of fighters and have made several roster announcements over the last year, and have even signed fighters we've yet to reveal. Some of you have been following our announcements and have said things like, there's no way all these fighters will be in ESBC when it drops. And if you've shared a comment like that, you're correct. There will be boxers who are included in the game at launch, and some who will be a part of our DLC rollout over time. Most boxers who aren't in at launch will be paid DLC, but there will also be some free DLC to look forward to. So, what can we tell you right now about the ESBC release roster? As we've said, we're working toward the largest roster of licensed fighters ever in a boxing game. In order to totally lock down our roster, we have to get fighter scans into our development pipeline and approved, working around boxers' busy schedules to do so. All of this, of course, has been challenging during the ever-changing COVID landscape. That means today, we don't have a finalized list of boxers who will make the released roster. Now, we know a top priority for many of you is making sure some of the best fighters in the sport are in ESBC on day one when you purchase the game. So you'll see Canelo, Ali, Fury, Wilder, Terrence Crawford, Joe Frazier, Roy Jones, Lomachenko, Claressa Shields, Katie Taylor, and more the very first time you play. And we'll continue to share more of our finalized roster as we get closer and lock in those names. But we want to make sure you understand our philosophy around the roster and where we're at.
Makes sense. It's going to be impossible for them to do a realistic boxing game by getting everybody in.
And belief in us as we work to bring boxing back to gaming where it belongs, as well as for your patience, so we can make sure we deliver the most authentic experience possible. Make sure you head over to Steam and add ESBC to your wish list. There's a link down there below.
The thing is, right, I'm going to say this right now for all the boxing fans out there. This guy's a nerd, and that's how you know the game's going to be good. If you look on his shelf right now, you can see Pokemon cards and shoes and Air Maxes and Jordans. So what I'm saying right now is this guy, he knows his stuff, he knows what he's doing, so be patient, he's going to do a good job. I just want to go one thing though. There was one thing that kind of worried me slightly.
As we talk through this next section.
So, some of the things that I've noticed so far is the shots of punches getting thrown. I know it's development, but when they're throwing punches and landing big clean punches, the person that they're hitting, their body's not moving. They're not knocking them off balance. They're not messing with the footwork. There's no sort of, the punches is just landing, and that's something I'm concerned about. The game looks incredible. The game looks incredible, but when a certain shot lands,
ESBC,
like when it gets that way, let's go with shot.
Areas on an opponent's face, so a glancing blow,
like he's not moving every time he's getting hit.
Chance to cause
Bang there, his head goes, his body just, his head and his neck go, but his legs have not moved an inch. So something, hopefully, it says alpha footage work in progress, so maybe I can't take too much into that, and maybe they're just showing off this sort of thing. But I also noticed it when I was watching Tyson Fury as well in terms of father.
In the works. There's a wide angle view that shows all the action for those of you who want to see as much as possible.
Bang, see that? He's off balance. He should really take a back step to kind of hold himself. He doesn't, he just goes and comes back. It's one thing I've noticed, and I hope they pick up on and develop, or I hope it's written in the works or something, because that's going to make the game, when they start moving as they're getting hit, that's going to look incredible. Apart from that, it looks fantastic. It looks absolutely fantastic, and I cannot wait for ESBC boxing to come out. Appreciate everyone before watching. Hit that subscribe and like button if you like the video. Drop your comments in the chat 'cause I'm really interested to see what everyone else thinks as well. I know I usually do UFC stuff, but I can't wait for this game, and we're going to have a massive esports community. I'm sure I'll be involved with them, so can't wait, guys. Like I said, hit that comment and see what I want to see what you're saying. Bye.